Good morning. Welcome to What's Going On Here. We've got a treat for you people this morning, particularly the older people. I'm Bob Venn. The program's called What's Going On Here. And we're at the Finney Sporting Goods in the North Country Shopping Center. And Gary Finney right there scratching his forehead, wondering, what am I doing here with these other guys here? And we've got a bunch of pictures, maybe 50 to 75 pictures of the old John Deere days that used to be held every year when his dad, W.W. Finney, it was W.W. Finney and Sons, the John Deere agency on protection? Riley Avenue in Plattsburgh, right where they now, the Bottled Redemption Center, right?
Discount Center.
Discount Center there now, that's where it was held. And we have on my left here Lyles Trombley from Ingraham. You know, you met his son and daughter-in-law with the 52 John Deere tractors. Well, this was what would he'd be the father and the grandson of the originator, I guess, or the son of the originator.
Yeah.
Who started it way back? Your grandfather or your father?
In John Deere's?
No, at the farm.
Oh, my father.
Your father was the first. All right, then you came along, and then now it's Tony, and then you got a little Lyles beside.
Right.
Okay.
That's the next generation.
Okay, and talking about generations, you look at this one right here. This is the father of the cameraman. This is Carl Castine from Champlain, New York. Hi, Carl.
Hi there, Bob.
And you were alive and attending these John Deere. Used to look forward to those John Deere days?
You bet your life.
It was an event, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Every
it was.
year?
Yeah.
You remember what time of the year it was, whether it was spring or fall?
I think it was spring, wasn't it, Gary?
It used to be, yeah.
Before
believe
the
so.
season started, so you could, right?
That's right.
Before you have to get in the fields. Yeah, and there was an awful lot of people. You saw all your friends in there. It was just one day.
One day.
One day, they served you food. They did everything for you.
Started back in Peru, back in the Grange Hall years and years and years ago. And then, of course, when they moved the business to Plattsburgh, they used to have it at the Champlain Theater over on Clinton Street.
Yes, that's where I remember it.
Yeah.
And you'll see in the pictures here.
Okay.
And then he moved later down to the back, down to Riley Avenue, and had it right there in the spot.
This is the baby of that Finney family. There was he and his brother Bill, and then W.W. Then they went way back. It was your grandfather W.W.
W. I wish Bill was here today. He's out playing
Well,
golf.
he's
We'd
out
have
playing
had some
golf.
fun.
Well, we can show you what Bill looks like here, baby. This is the other Bill up here. Here's Bill up here, playing golf.
Try out of that blue one down.
And then here he is down here. This is in the spring. And this is Gary, and who do I have next to him?
Morristown there, the athletic director over in Saranac, and he's retired. That's
Morristown.
Mark Joden from the air base. He
Okay.
left the area.
And this is not even a relative right there. No, that's not even a relative. All right. So what we're going to do here, and to explain a little bit, Calvin's going to do an awful lot of work on this program. We're going to look at these older pictures, and the camera will not be on the pictures whatsoever. We're going to identify these people, and then later at home, Calvin is going to take the pictures and put our voices in with them later, so you'll get a good, clear shot of the pictures. And it's going to be a lot of work, but we hope you'll enjoy this, and if you do, please let Calvin know, or any of these fine people here with me today. We appreciate your watching Hometown Cable every day at 1:15, 4:30, 8 p.m., and 8 the following morning. And we hope that... Good morning.
Gary's wife, I think.
Yes, hi. She's going straight through. She says, I don't want to deal with these guys. So we're going to get at this, and we hope you enjoy this. And you'll be seeing a lot of people that you know, people that have long gone probably now. And we've got two farmers, and a teacher, a businessman, and a coach, and everything else. And we're just here for a good time today, and we hope that you enjoy this. And please stand by while we'll be getting this program started.
Now, this is right in Peru?
Yeah, that's the old Peru place. Yeah.
Hi, Jerry. Okay, our first picture. Go ahead. Tell us what this is. Tell us where we are, first of all, Gary.
Well, we're in Peru right now.
Yes?
And what year, I couldn't even begin to tell you.
You can't read the license plate?
No, I'm so... Geez, I guess I can't even read the newspaper.
He didn't even know there was a license plate there.
And I don't know, Lyles, what tractor that is.
It looks like a General GP to me.
Does
And
it?
it's got a metal tires.
Well,
That truck has got to be a 39 or 40,
yeah.
38,
Long
somewhere
time
like
ago.
that. And you'll see where it says W.W. Finney and Sons, Peru, New York, and W.W. himself up there on the porch,
Yeah, that was Dad up there in the porch.
Uh,
Big guy.
right in front of the door.
Right, yeah. And this is my grandfather.
That's the man with
His
the
dad.
hat on the first row.
Yeah, that was the W.W. before.
Okay, so that was his dad, right?
Yeah.
And what did he do? Was he also in the machinery business?
Oh, it was, he started
He's the one that
business.
started. All right.
That's the W.W. Finney and Sons, and Dad was the son, and this is my Uncle Frank.
Okay, well now you're gonna have to tell me that. You say this. That's the man with the white pants.
That's
Is your
the man with the white pants is my Uncle Frank Finney.
all right? And you know who the lady was?
Helen Jarvis, and she worked for my dad my grandfather for years and years, and then she ended up with Champlain Valley Savings and Loan down. I think she was vice president of Champlain Valley Savings and Loan or something. She was.
Okay. Now the man up there with the hat is not a farmer.
I don't know who that is.
Representative from John Deere, maybe?
No. Well, that could be. Very well could. This is Joe Morrow from Peru.
That's the man behind the cream separator.
That's right. And
Or the window.
And he was one of the mechanics. And the garage where they worked on tractors and things was across the way here. It was dug out underneath. And dry days you could work on the machinery, and on wet days you couldn't because you were in the water up to your knees. So you just had to pick the right days to break down. And
Okay, so this was nothing to do with John Deere days at this time, but this is where the business was.
And this is Willis Harper, who worked for my dad and my grandfather and my uncle, and then he left us and went with John Deere.
All right.
became
Well,
a John
remember, we
Deere
don't have a camera on us, and that's the man leaning on the tractor, the one right next to the tractor.
Yeah.
And you notice this car on the right-hand corner. There's a license plate there. And I can't read the year, but that's about a 36, 37, 38, I think, right there, looking at the back trunk. Look at that trunk the way they used to be. You had stand-up trunks, not the flat ones we have today. All right, we'll get another picture out.
Okay. Well, you're at a John Deere day, and which one I don't know. At Champlain Theater out on Clinton Street.
Yeah.
All right, now there's a whole bunch of people in here. See if we can identify. We'll start off with Bill Finney, which just to the left of the lady in the front. Once you recognize Bill, you'll know. And just to his left, his right, as we look at it, to our left of him is Gary. That's Gary with the fancy sweater.
I had to be like 11 years old, I believe, 10 or 11 years old, because my dad died when I was 13, so
All right.
I might even been younger than
Now these were the employees of the.
were the employees, and some of the people out there might remember them. I don't know who this is.
Way on the left, you don't know.
I'm sure they were. This was Esther Shively. She used to work in the office.
Lady on the left.
That was Mark Brown, who was our custodian at the place. And this guy in the back, Den Gallagher. Remember Den Gallagher?
He looks familiar, but I can't.
And Loyal Badger?
Lyle Badger behind the tallest man there.
Yeah.
Yes, you can see him. He's from up in our direction.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
your Uncle
Hey, go ahead,
Frank.
Lyle. Get around there. You can
That's
see
your
that
Uncle
better.
Frank.
And that's my Uncle
Oh,
Frank right in
why don't
the
you get
front.
right over there?
Yeah.
And that, of course, Jack Barton, I don't know if you remember him. He used to work
The
in
glasses
the office.
in the back we're talking about.
And then, of course, my dad. And right back there, George King. You remember George
Yeah.
King?
Yeah, used to be a plumber and
Everything. There
furnace
was
man.
nothing he couldn't do.
Jack of all trades.
We're going from left to right in the picture now, and then there was the lady with the white.
That was June Powell. She worked in the office. She was my dad's secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Tremblay.
He's the second to the right of the lady.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
I remember him.
Cliff LaSalle.
Cliff LaSalle right there. Yes, Cliff LaSalle, born June 25th, because I was born the 26th, and he married my wife's cousin. We
That's
we
right.
went into service together.
Oh,
Yep, and he now lives in Peru, doesn't he? Or
Yep.
Yep.
And you remember this man up
Roy?
your way,
Oh,
Roy
far
Abode.
away, Roy Abood, yes.
Yeah,
And let's not forget the man just to the right of him.
my brother Bill.
Yes.
And I don't know who this is here, but the guy in the very end was Bill Lounsbury. And remember when we handled the GMC trucks and
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
and that
that's like
kind
a
of
West, eh?
Well,
that was he
probably,
was,
probably related. Yeah.
this guy over here, go way back to the other side, was a salesman that used to come, and his name was Ray Finney, no relation,
Right.
and he was the deal valve
Deal valve.
representative in the area.
He's the third from the left, and if you'll look down at the bottom of the picture, you'll see some of the heads of the people who were at the John Deere days in the crowd. And look at that very fancy heating system that wasn't very well
Yeah.
hidden.
Clarence Allen too. I don't think I remember. I don't remember.
Okay, he's just to the right of the lady with the
He
white.
was from Peru. He was one of the parts men in the back.
Okay, that's the company people.
You got them all but one there.
Yeah, well, now this here was at the fair, and that was the one that used to have tents, for crying out loud. And you remember, I'm sure the people,
Now the fair was where here at this time? Was that
Could have
down
been
in
on the Moffett Road. It could have been at the where the air base is now. I think.
Okay.
On the base.
Yeah,
I think it's at the base?
I
All
would
right.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And of course, that was my dad. That's Martin Mannix.
Martin Mannix. Now, that's a name you've heard a lot of, right in the middle there, between the up on the platform.
I don't know who this is. I do know that that was a long time ago.
You know,
That's not Jock from Crew. Your father had a friend. He was always there on John Deere Day.
You know who that is? Merrill Reese.
Oh,
Remember Merrill Reese?
County agent.
Yeah, county agent. That's who that is right there.
you know, as I'm standing here with these old people, these three old people here, I want to tell you that let's not forget that W.W. Finney, we see in the picture, died at the ripe age of 44 years old. I mean, he's over 16 years younger than I am right now. 20 years younger than I am now, and that is just what a loss to the North Country. And he was very well known and very well respected, and Gary knows that every day people must talk to you about your dad,
yeah.
Gary.
Oh, yeah, day never goes by that people have.
Okay, I guess there's nobody else there we can recognize.
This picture here again is a picture of the fair, and Dad and Martin Mannix again. These
Okay.
people, older people remember the New York, news,
Yeah, he.
North Country News. Martin
Yes.
Mannix and
Yep.
Dad sponsored.
12:30 every day, right?
Oh boy.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, we'll be getting to people where you can see their faces. These were not to any John Deere days. These were people who came to the fair. It could be from anywhere.
This was at the Champlain Theater, and the John Deere Day, and that magician that used to come down from Montreal. Dad had that magician that come down all the
Yeah.
time, and he's talking to me there, and of course that's Bill over there on the other side.
Enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The piano was there for the. We used to have the bands there all the time, and that's. I think that's R.C. Cola. isn't it?
Yeah, I see coal on the bottom on the left. You don't drink that anymore.
No. Now I'll tell you here. You're going to start scanning. This was at the Champlain Theater.
Oh, a lot of people now.
People now. You're going to start
Oh,
Be
seeing.
tough to identify people.
Oh, boy.
We should start in the very front, maybe, if we recognize anybody.
Recognize that guy?
Yes, look at here down in the bottom with the look on with the tie and the light jacket in the front and the left.
And that time he was not an auctioneer. He was a
Paul
teacher. He
Calkins.
was a teacher in Prue Central School.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, Paul Calkins, the auctioneer.
I remember that was Dallas Stein, and that's a McCusker.
And I'll tell you, this lady right here, up walking out in front of the two men, is my grandmother. That was my mother's mother, believe it or not. I just recognized her. That is my grandmother. And right behind her is Roy Abood,
Roy moved, yeah.
and I don't recognize the other man.
That ain't Renadette, is it?
Yes.
What's
That's
that? Who is it?
That's Renadette. Art Renadette.
Art Renadette.
Art Renadette's the half a face you can see behind.
No, Art Renadette right there.
Oh, right there in the front, talking to Roy
Yeah,
Abood.
that's Art Renadette.
There's Jubal Fiber there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look over there or something.
there's now the pic. They get smaller and smaller in the background, of course.
But we'll have some shots.
You get people much more face forward. I'm sure there are other people in there, and you may recognize yourself,
That's
folks.
Cliff LaSalle's father right there, Drew. He worked for us. That's Cliff LaSalle right there. His dad.
Well, he did work for you. I didn't know that.
Cliff?
Is Cliff's father work
No,
for you?
no, but he's there. He's
Oh,
attending
Cliff and-
today. And how I knew, because this was his hired man, and I can't even think what his name was.
Okay. Cliff LaSalle drove truck for many years. He used to work at the Ticonderoga plant.
Yeah, retired. In fact, my wife and I were just with Cliff and Shirley Sunday night. So, oh my goodness gracious! Well, you know those pictures are.
This is the Champlain Theater, which is located on the corner of is that Protection Avenue and Clinton Street in Plattsburgh. It was on the northwest corner.
That looks like, I'm sure, but I don't think
It is located. It took up the space where Acidorian's office is
No,
right now.
I don't think it's.
No, this is this. Well, we're leaving John Deere Day now. We're gone to the fair.
We don't have these in any particular order.
And again, when we were at the fairs, wasn't too far away from my father at any time.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn everything.
Wherever
I
that's-
was around him.
Sure. Looking for some more Royal Crown Cola.
this guy here stays familiar right here.
That's
That ain't Cook, is it? They're
Way
up
back
there?
in the right you're talking about.
No, I would dare to say that he was a Bradley from down around the Prue area, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
My goodness.
What does it say here? Everything for the farm. W.W. Finney and Sons Incorporated.
Everything.
Did you really work very much down at the place yourself?
Not till I got older.
What did you do at that age? You were there. You were just in the way at that age.
I just enjoyed everything that was going on. I just thought my dad always had something going on. He always had. I can remember
yes.
throwing chickens out the window up to about 3 stories up to people, and man.
All right. We'll go to another picture.
Well, this certainly simplified. That tells you what my father used to do.
There he is. There's Dad. There's the Indian.
Indian
Yeah, there he is, right
An
there.
old Afghan around him.
with his Indian
Yeah.
blanket.
That's Betty. Betty and her jesters. You remember that? That's Betty on the bass. The bass was bigger than she was, and they had some kind of a piano player. That's Larry Fernier, the old fiddler. But that was my dad up there, and I'm sure he was telling a story or two.
Look at the faces of the people, if you can see them on your
Didn't take
screen,
their eyes off.
looking up there. They just up and they're just enjoying. You say, "What's he going to do next?" We'll take a short break. We're looking at some pictures from the old W.W. Finney John Deere days in Plattsburgh, New York. We're talking in the 40s now, 40s, very early 50s maybe. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in to Hometown Cable. We got a picture now that, again, was at the county fair when they used to have the big tents for their displays. Now they have their solid buildings if you've watched our programs and you've been out to the county fair. But this is where they had the tents. And, Lyles, you said there's an MT. Where's the MT? Right in the middle?
Right there.
Right there in the middle, just to the right of the sign,
Yeah.
right next to the platform. There's the MT. All right. We'll move along.
Back to the fair again. Remember this guy? Miner Farm, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny Molosky.
Malosky on the
whatever.
right, Johnny Maslowski.
That's my father and my brother Bill.
And the tall person again is, don't know. But he's there a lot.
This must have been the
Bit of
prize
Black
Angus
Had
from
to be
the-
big
Yeah.
Black
from
Angus,
Harsdale Light Farm.
Look at the way they got that halter on.
Yeah. There's the smile that everybody knew on Bill Finney right there.
Yeah.
Two holes.
Happy man.
There, they
Lytle
used to
family.
put a show together at the fair, and that was the Lytle family. There used to be more people in the tent there watching the show go on than
Than
there was on the
grandstand.
grandstand. That was the truth.
That's right. Yep.
That was the Lytle family, and
WEAV.
yeah, awfully short. Now you're back at the theater again.
Again, Bill Finney reading something, and right behind him is Cliff LaSalle. And way in the back, just to the right,
Bill.
you know,
There's Bill back here.
yeah, way in the back, you can see just his face is Bill.
Yeah.
And who's standing here?
That's Jack Barton. He used to work in
Okay.
the office.
And you don't recognize anybody down in the...
That's my brother's wife right there, and that's my mother.
Okay.
That's
Wait,
Lester Thu from
oh, wait,
Peru.
we got to have to decide this now. If you look, go way in the back of the picture on the left. The lady standing, we don't know. We didn't mention her, but right?
That's Barbara Thu.
All right, Barbara through.
She used to work for
And then there's 3 people in a row. Starting way to the right is Bill's wife.
Day,
Then your mother.
and Lester Thu.
Okay.
That's still alive. And my mother's still alive. Of course, my brother's wife's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like Rainy Yankdale, is it? Bob, you would know just as good as I would.
No, I think that's John Bayshard.
That's who it is.
John Bayshard
That's
from
who it is.
Cooperville.
That's
Yep.
who it
John
is.
and Ann?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's John and
And Ann.
Ann. Yep, that's who that is.
You son of a gun.
Yeah, they're sitting in the front row, right in front of the opening there on the right. Got his hand up to his chin.
Again, that's Martin Mannix, and he was doing the news right from the theater at the
Right.
John Deere Day.
Right from
And
the
then my mother. And that's my father's sister, my Aunt Helen Hodgkins, who's passed away for some years now, but I don't know who this is.
You know, when you think back, we're thinking of young Martin Mannix and the rest of the Mannixes around the area, and their dad was as well known in the area as Gary's dad, Bill. They were very well known, very anywhere they went, people knew them, and there was a lot of talk about both of them.
Here,
Next picture, we got some faces up close here now.
who's that guy?
Oh, there's Bob Venn. Ah, look at this. All right, well, starting from the right up the top
Stanley Boyer over
is
there,
Stanley Blair,
facing it.
and then with that checkered coat right there, and you see an arm sticking up. That's me. That's Bob Venn. Probably
120 pounds ago.
120 pounds ago, and I was at Champlain College. This is probably 1950, and I had left from the school. We had breaks, and I was down at the John Deere Day. Everybody went to John Deere Day.
Remember Jimmy Laughlin?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Remember
No.
Laughlin?
Yeah.
That's him right there.
That's him.
That's
Okay.
he's looking right at us, and just to the right of the. That's hard to do. Who's the man right here?
Mark Chomley.
Who is it?
Clarence Trombley.
Clarence
That's who it
Trombley
is, That's right.
Yeah.
is got his hand up in front of his face here, just to the right of the man drinking.
Antoine Bishop drinking.
Okay.
That's Aunt Jim Lorraine.
Just to the left of him is Aunt John, and there's another Laurent.
That's a little boy. And down below him is
Raymond Beeman.
and his wife.
Yeah.
This fellow here looks like old John Tom Lee, my mother's great uncle, but I don't know if it is or not. It looks like him from Morse Forest.
Do you know who this man is? Is that Romy Castine? No.
No.
No, not at that time.
And this here is Marion Ducharme
Okay, we're...
and his wife Shirley.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, now, way in the back here, again, about 3 inches from the left, way in the back is Roy Abood again.
Yeah.
Of course, Roy worked for the Finneys.
I wonder if anybody recognize that guy in the middle in the
What's
the
that?
side.
Look at this one. Hey, look at this one. Okay. Lyle, tell us who
Yeah.
these people are,
That
Lyle.
was my mom
Your mom to the right of you.
and my sister Norma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's this here?
I don't know.
Don't know.
All right, and this is Jay Brown on the left.
My jingles it is.
Jay,
He used to work in that school.
yes, he's on the left-hand side, right behind,
Right.
right to the top, way on the left, the bald man. That's Jay and his wife, I guess, right next to him. They were from the McBride, not the McBride Road, the Ridge Road.
No, McBride.
McBride Road. All right, well, this is a great picture, and of course, these are not set up, folks. This is the way they were.
She died at age 34.
Your sister.
My Lord, look at here.
Okay.
We haven't set these up in any order. Look what's happening. You recognize anybody in that picture?
Look at this one.
Henry Oliver's daughter.
Right in the front.
And Henry's wife.
Yes. Look at this guy in the second row.
That's
Carl Castine.
And over here, my wife Carol.
Right over there to the...
And this little fellow here could be Calvin or Sam with his finger crossed in front of
Bert
his face.
Laramie. Remember Bert?
yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah.
And you know who's behind you here, looking out behind you?
No,
Who took these pictures? Do you know who took these at the time?
Oh, my
yeah,
Lord,
the
no.
guy over there.
Hager Studio, it says,
Yeah.
back here. All right.
It's Art Finney from up in the Peasleville area.
All right.
Good.
Great pictures, you know. And maybe when you're in Plattsburgh, why don't you stop in at Finney Sporting Goods? I don't know if they're usually here, but...
Oh, they're here.
And look at some of his merchandise, but look at the pictures. Gary'd be glad to hear more stories about his dad.
Don't.
All right, well, we see here Romeo
Romeo Bishard.
Bayshard on the right.
And
Hector.
And look at right here. Isn't that Carol?
Carol and Sam.
And there's Sam right here. Now, this is Carl's wife and son Sam.
That's Alir over here, where you're left.
Alir Racine over on
Yeah.
the left.
Clarence Romley behind there.
Now, Calvin, are we going too fast on these for you to use identifications later?
If you're jumping from one to the other, you might be.
Okay, we maybe should take a little bit more
If they're near
time.
each other, there's no problem. But if you're jumping from one to the other, it won't give the people
Okay.
a chance to see them on TV.
Okay, because they'll be too fast, so we'll have to slow down. And when we recognize people from the north like this. All right, Romeo with the big smile, and I guess that's his dad, isn't that Hector?
Hector, yeah.
Right next to him.
Then if you go across, it's Alir.
All right, Alaire. And is that his what?
No, that's Raymond Beeman up above him.
Raymond just above here.
Yeah, Clarence.
Clarence Tremblay.
Leo Vaughn from Peru. That'd be Cliff LaSalle's grandfather.
All right. Amazing, isn't it? You look back and how old was Sam there, would you say?
Probably 6, 7 years old.
So that would be about 1950?
He was born in 44.
About 1950.
Because he always was sick that day, Calvin.
This would,
Yeah, you can be sure of that.
let me just throw in here, this is an idea why when you have all these pictures, put a date on the back, put some
Right.
names on, because it's very, very important.
There's Carol again.
There's,
right?
that, right, that's your wife, Carol, and
One of
Calvin's
one of the
mother.
kids could be Calvin and
That's
Sam right
Sam.
here.
That's Calvin and Sam right here, in the two heads.
Carlton Westcott and his wife from Peru. They had a farm down in Peru. Earl Everett and his wife, Everett Orchards. You've heard of Everett Orchards?
Is that David's dad,
father,
mom and
mother.
dad? Oh, yes, yes. Dave's a great speaker. He beat me out in public speaking when we were in high school. Yeah, where is that darn Dave? Anyway, here. Yep, great pictures.
There's something coming up here I want to show. In fact, it's right here. I got it.
If you're wondering where you are with all these pictures, we're looking at John Deere days at the old Champlain Theater. And look at here. That's Calvin, right square in the middle in the front.
Carol.
And Carol, his mom, she looks familiar, but I don't know who she is. There's Raymond Beeman again, right, with half a face behind the gentleman. And Mrs. Beeman?
Bring me
Their daughter, well, you know, the two Beeman boys are still on the Stetson Road, right?
Got something
Roswell.
going on with this picture.
And
Arnold. And Arnold,
Yep.
right? And they're that's their mom and dad.
I got a telephone call about 3 days ago or 4 days ago and said, Gary, we need some more shirts. Could you get them printed up and get them up to me as soon as you can, and we'll get all straightened away. And this happened to be the shirt that we did. It was 130. It's going to be the 137th annual 15th of Redford picnic, and that's the famous American. And the man who called me was right here, who was in school at the time, Future Farmers of America in Peru, who's now Father Allen up in
Is that right? He's the priest
Church
there. Yeah?
Reception.
He is right behind Carol here, right behind Calvin's mom. And he just ordered.
He just ordered these shirts from us. So he's certainly stayed in touch with the Finney family.
He certainly has. He certainly has.
His father was John Allen in Peru. Nice family, had a nice farm, and his brother Jimmy's still on the farm.
Gary, maybe when you get the copy of this video, you could take these pictures and kind of identify some of these people on the back.
Yeah, we will.
Carl's in that picture too.
Carl is in the picture?
This year, probably the donation.
Oh yeah, there's Carl right there. He's part of the picture right there.
Looking back to see there, huh?
Oh, goodness gracious.
And Calvin again looking at the camera. See, he's always with the camera.
Yeah.
Behind it now, though.
Looking for food.
Anybody know any of those people?
Yes, sir.
Oh gosh, look at this.
That there is Lester Ashline
With the glasses
with two boys on his left
behind. Yep.
and a boy on his right. And that's Dorothy, and that's his daughter Hortense.
That whole row right behind that first
Right.
man are all ash lines.
This is Lawrence Ashline, Leoma up on top. The other ones I don't know the four.
Right.
You know, by the way, we have a way that we can, if anybody sees anything here that they would really like to have, they could come down here. We have a way of
Taking a picture of it?
we take it down and it blows it up even bigger.
And you can get parts of this if you ever.
And
Yes.
anybody is interested in any of these
I'm
things,
sure that. Look now. See, my daughter-in-law. That's her grandfather, right? That's my daughter-in-law's grandfather.
Right.
Lester Ashline, right there.
Yeah.
This may be her father, right there.
Jeepers. This
That
fellow
Roland?
here, I would think so. This looks like Dougie right here.
But I'm thinking of Roland. I think that's
Roland, yeah,
Roland right there. I think. I'm not sure,
I
but
don't know.
all right. Well, there you see the pictures. We're talking.
There's
There he is again.
Yeah.
There's that Alan again.
No,
No?
that's
Okay.
not bad.
It's hard to pick anybody else out in the back now very well, but there's
That's
Lester.
right.
Good picture.
Remember this guy?
Yep, Fizette, isn't it?
Bill
That's Bill
Fizette.
Fizette.
Bill Fizette.
We're talking about this gentleman in the back row,
Pointer
looking
row.
right at the camera.
His son there.
Yeah.
Leo Dio right here, and is that Rosemary? Fizette, Bill's daughter.
Oh, and here are the ash lines again. This is another ash line. The two boys on the right.
No, this Bobby, I don't know who that guy is.
Right, but this one is for sure, right?
Yeah.
That's ash line. This gentleman here looks familiar.
Is it?
Bill's boy. Remember, always a great athlete, great pitcher.
Lester.
Lester.
Les Facette, that's his dad. All right.
Right.
MAI is Les Facette, I
That's
believe.
right.
Right.
You got it.
You have to, every time you look at these pictures, you find another face you didn't see before.
Your mother, Bob?
Yes, this is my mother right over on the left. Thank you very much. That is my mother way over on the left. So I assume my father's head is right behind her, Lyman Castine, and that was Mrs. Elizabeth Castine.
That's Hector Fisher again.
Yes. Is this La Bombard
I
up in the
don't know.
corner?
Don't know.
And this may be Elmer Wells that was living at our house at the time. Elmer Reeves, rather, with that plaid shirt.
I don't know. Right now.
I think maybe if you were thinking as a truant officer, there were more kids skip school on John Deere Day than any day of the year.
Right, they were.
This was a school day, remember?
There's Bert Laramie again.
Right in the middle, yep.
Bart
was
Frenia.
over
That's
there.
Jimmy Doyle. You remember Signer's Dairy in Keysville? George Signer?
I know of it,
Right
yes.
there.
Now this gentleman here is Letson, I believe, from Moores. Is that a Letson?
Yes, you are right.
Way on the right, second row is Letson. He lived on the, just at the end of the Fee Roads area.
This looks familiar, but I cannot put a name on it.
Look at the smiling faces and everybody looking at the camera.
Boy.
Well, we see some Bayshires. We're certainly over. Well, start over on the right.
That's a Tetro girl. Her
All
husband
right.
just died up here. There's a water tanks up there and just above here.
All right, over in the right, second row would be all right. And then the man with the glasses. Don't know.
That's Albert Bishar's wife, Agnes, and his son.
And
Their son.
Albert.
That's
Little
Albert.
and
My
Albert.
goodness
Oh,
gracious.
That's- all right.
Oliver
That's
Alon-
Albert.
Olive,
Yeah.
Olive Laundry.
I
That's
just
his little boy
played
right
for
here.
Albert and his wife's
his wife.
50th anniversary at the Elks Club 2 years ago. Albert Bayshard and his wife's
Is that right? Okay.
played for their 50th anniversary
Well-
of our music.
Well,
too.
okay, she was a Tetro.
Yeah.
Albert's wife was a Tetro. This
Right.
could be her sister.
It is her sister.
Okay.
Her husband just died here.
We're talking that
That's
whole.
Marie
Yeah.
DiCarlo.
DeCarlo,
We're
right.
talking about
Yep.
the second row there. I mean, anybody up north will recognize. I'm sure once we point them out. Man with a pipe here. I don't recognize who.
Oliver Landry.
Yes, that's
Who is
Oliver.
it?
Oliver. Yes, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
That's Oliver. Yes.
And
yes.
his wife right next to him.
You can see that I'm not really working today. This is fun. It's these people
She was
Son
a
of a
gay.
gun! I never.
Right.
How would you? I never would have.
right behind. It's the gay girl.
Well,
you said she
yeah,
was
well,
gay.
She was Oliver's wife.
Oh, okay.
Philip G's daughter.
All right. And you see that it says here on the back, John Deere tractors.
Remember those boys?
You bet your
The
life.
Burnell brothers?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Herman and Culver.
Yeah, they still around.
Yeah.
This guy's about half the size of he was been sick.
Yes, Culbert, of course, very active the Knights of Columbus, and they're from Scioto. And they lived on the road between Scioto and Chazy. And right there, see? They're chores. Culbert comes down after milking, and he's in Champlain before 6 o'clock. They get their work done early.
Lord, oh Lord! And I think if I'm not mistaken, isn't that Alec Bayshard right there?
Right?
Isn't that Lyle Trombley right there?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
That's it.
Let's see if we can identify these people.
Jerry Trombley, a nephew of mine.
All right.
He's also dead now.
The two faces you see way up in the top left, the first one on the left is Jerry,
Yeah.
and then just to the right is Lyles, who's talking with us today.
Yeah.
And the two Bayshard boys, well,
No,
LeBumbarb.
That's Paul
Paul LeBumbarb just ahead.
Entwine.
All right.
That's
That's
John.
Herman John. No, that's Alec.
Alex in the
Alec.
middle of the picture and toward the back.
That's Father Allen's brother, Jimmy, the one that's on the farm now in Peru.
Elder Racine and Celine.
Okay, right in the front here, the second seat back you can see that's Allaire, which would be, who are we going to talk with? Peter's father.
Celine, right here.
Yeah, and then the Celine, Mrs. Celine Paquette. I told her about this picture, and I said, wasn't that a school day? And she said, shh. All right, because she came down to those. And look at all the young people.
Bob Sherman from Peru.
It was an outing.
Does that look like Charlie Higgins to you?
Yes, it is. Right back there. Yes, it is Charlie Higgins.
It is. Eh?
The face you can see just to the left in the middle and the back, yes, from the La Valley Road in Moores
Yeah. Yeah.
with the glasses, right behind Alec Bayshard.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
We've had several reunions, that we do shirts for every year, and I'm thinking of two families in Moores right now, the LaValle family, and their pictures. I'm sure that there's a lot of pictures.
You may sell a lot of shirts to the La Valley family.
And you betcha. And the Snide family, who have just, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
All right, we're going to look at one more picture, then we're going to take a short break. We're looking at the John Deere Day pictures, and this is also very close to my heart. This picture, in the front we don't know, but starting in the next row, my mother and my dad, Lyman and Betty Castine, she with the glasses, and then just to the left of them is another couple I don't know, an older couple I don't know.
That's not you next to your mother?
I don't think so. I don't think that's me.
That's
No,
not. That's Art
that's
Frenier.
that's Art Frenier. No.
Is this Red Oliver?
I don't know.
I tell you, we got a picture of Red in here somewhere, though.
But look at that theater. It's full, and there's standings in the back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can't turn them away.
And they were there all day practically, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
From 10 o'clock in the morning till what?
There were,
4?
there were a lot of late milkings in those.
Spent the whole day. Yeah.
You look forward to that too?
Always.
Huh? Did you always go buy something the week before so you were welcome?
Not necessarily. Not
You
necessarily.
never had to buy the.
You didn't have to
you're
buy
welcome there anytime.
And you didn't have to be a John Deere person either,
That's
did you?
just like anybody wants to come see these
Yes.
pictures. They don't have to come here and buy anything.
Okay,
Just come on
all
in
right.
here and look at them.
And they didn't make you feel out of place if you didn't.
That's right. Listen, thank you very much. We're talking with, of course, Gary Finney, Carl Castine and Lyles Tremblay, who are here looking at some pictures from John Deere Day. You're watching What's Going On here, Hometown Cable, and we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in.
You know them?
No.
I do. I want
How to
to.
identify where we're talking. Okay, well, Lyles was just looking at this same picture again that had my mom and dad, and it would be the third row back, the man with the white, the young kid with the whitish shirt, you thought was Oliver.
Bernard Oliver.
And just to our left of him, we think is Ron Brown from Shazy, the former postmaster. And just to the right of him, which Sanger was this?
Phil.
Phil Sanger, just to the right of Oliver.
Now, I'm not sure. This might be Gordon Dragoon. I wouldn't say for sure.
He does look a little bit like Gordon. Could be that he'd be right to the left of there.
Yeah.
All right. Next picture, well, we're going to look at this now. Yes, I know who some of these people are. In the front row to the right with the plaid shirt, it would be a Boyer.
Right.
Which one?
I don't know.
All right. And then, of course, just to the back of him is Carl Friend.
That's right. And his wife,
Yeah.
Loretta.
Loretta. And then this couple I don't know. And I don't know the other people. But there's three people from Champlain we should all know.
There's only one person that I know in there, and that's Cliff LaSalle's father, Cliff Sr. Right there.
Way in the back, Cliff LaSalle. Well, here, there's another one.
Is that Louis Glow?
That's Louis Glode, Glaude from Champlain. Used to live on Main Street, now in Rouse's Point in Montreal.
That's Rainey Bishart.
Rainey Bishart?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, with the farm machinery right here.
And that's Norman Bishart.
And Norman, just to the right. We're talking to the back row. I'm sorry, second row from the back here, from right. That's a girl. Then there's Norman Bishard, Rainey Bishard, and Alfred Glode.
Louis, yep.
Louis, rather, excuse me. And this man is familiar to me, but I don't know his name. Okay, Champlain
This is
Theater.
John's here. that picture there,
Well, here's this couple we see again we don't know, and this man looks familiar in the front.
that's Bob Gallagher, Bobby Gallagher. His dad, that was Den
All
Gallagher.
right. Here's Romeo Bashar again, right in the middle of the picture to the right.
Who is this? Is that ever seen?
That's
Yes,
out here.
that's a Lear. And this gentleman right here we should know.
This is a Dino, and that must be Leon Dino.
Dino, we think.
And his wife.
She,
From West Shazy.
she looks old compared to him.
Yeah, Wayne Dino's parents, I'd say.
Okay.
They had no problems at all eating there. There was always plenty to eat,
Gee,
sandwiches
yes,
and
sir.
milk.
Yep.
We'd go down to, you can imagine the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches we'd make the night.
Oh, this is they're going down for their food, and little did these people know when their picture was being taken, they'd be on TV 40 years later.
Remember Walt Davey from Keysville? That's Walt. Roderick Rock
Yep.
over here in Cumberland Head and his
Yeah.
wife.
That's her.
Okay. Right in the middle, sitting down with a lady in front of him.
Pete Castine.
Pete Castine, my father's brother, and of course his wife Martha, still living on Main Street in Champlain, right across from the Champlain Hotel.
Remember Archie Burdo? Had a little has farm was out now where the police barracks is up in the back.
Yeah.
That's Archie Burdo.
Yeah.
In the middle. All right.
Roy Abu again.
Yep, in line. And of course the Lytles are probably playing up front here.
Well, you never know. He always had somebody.
You see the chocolate milk, was it all in glass bottles? You see them down here?
And I can remember a lot of times that was during Lent, and your folks always had sandwiches for the ones that
Yeah.
couldn't eat meat.
Is that right?
There were always some non-meat sandwiches.
That's pretty
Cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah.
good.
That's Art Renadette again.
John Tatro. That's another Tatro. There's your father.
Yeah.
That guy there, I don't know.
Gotta be.
Okay, so the teacher was on either side of the young boy, then Bill in the back saying, God, this day's still going on. Look at him. He's perspiring profusely. We have your people sweat more.
That's a Boyer.
That's Boyer, yes. I don't know.
This looks like Marcel. Boy.
It does look like him, but
Yeah.
I mean, that mouthy, I think.
These
Yeah.
people look familiar to me.
They do too here. This man here,
Romy looks like.
I think it might be Romy Castine right here with the, on the right-hand side with the head only, you see. I think that is Romy.
Henry Oliver and his wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the front.
Now, was that there J. Rabidou or not?
Looks like somebody from the Moors area.
It looks
No.
like Leslie Trombley, your cousin.
It
Mine.
could be.
Could be that too.
No, no.
Yeah, and that's his wife,
Oh, it is?
Veronica.
Okay, we're going to another picture.
He's dead, ain't he? Just died,
Yeah, he just
This was
died.
at the fair now. Again, back to the fair. You know who that guy was? Marvin St. Dennis. He used to be a... That's Art Lamourie from up in Dannemora way.
And these are people who were at their display. Now, this is inside display at the fair.
At the fair, in the tents, yeah.
Okay.
Good Lord, he used to have... The people used to be around... That's what he used to be like all the time, running around. Anywhere he was, it
Right.
drew a crowd, you know.
Yeah, the crowd was.
Well, they probably think he's going to give him something.
He was, the dishwasher affair.
All right, we're getting to the next picture now.
Mary Cross. Remember her?
The second lady from the right in the
Yeah.
front is Mary Cross.
That Vic
Is this-
Defiant?
Big Defiant.
Is this Lyle?
Sure looked like me.
Look at Lyle in the
Clyde.
third row back with the glasses this time.
Clarence Fizette and Bill Fizette.
Just to the right as you look at it.
Alec Bichard.
Right
the
behind
next row.
him.
Vic Defiant.
We hope you're having as much fun watching these pictures, folks, as we are here. They may not be quite as clear to you as they are to us. You're watching them on TV, but they should be clear enough so that you can see what we're looking at. And if you see yourself and we didn't recognize you, we're sorry about that. You could very well have been there if you're at least 45 years old.
Probably changed a lot.
Yeah.
Art rented that again.
We're trying to take today's person and find out what he looked like 40 years ago.
Oh, that there. That's Lester. You want to start from the bottom?
Yes.
Oh, okay, left or right.
On the left,
This is-
yep.
This is John Tatra's daughter, I'm sure. That looks like Eileen LaPointe.
Yes.
That's their Renadette.
All right.
And this is Lester Ashline's daughter, Hortense, and his wife over here. And Lawrence Ashline, his wife, up there.
In behind. All right. And there's some of the signs, some of the things that were sold at the W.W. Finney Company. You see the feed, the blowers, and...
Don't that look like Eileen LaPointe?
oh, I think it is. Yes, yes. Eileen LaPointe, who became Eileen
Mayo.
Mayo.
Yeah.
And we've lost her in the past several years. Well, now it's going to be tough here. It's an awful lot of people. This is the Champlain Theater, as you look up.
Arnold Scales and his wife, right here.
The front in the middle. Is
From
that a
Point-
Bayshard?
From
Gerard
Point Fair?
Tatro.
Gerard Tate.
Yeah.
Oh,
From
good.
Point of Fair.
Yeah, that's Gerard Tatro.
Just to the left.
Okay,
Mr. Filion.
and his wife and sister-in-law.
All right, that's way to your left. It would be in the second row. There's three people there, a man and two women. That's the Valerian. Is it Valerian?
Yep.
Valerian.
Yeah.
Who is the, Betty Boer's, and then Marcel and Gerald's father and mother, Gerard rather, over at Jarvis TV.
Way up there is the truth officer. He come and get the kids.
Well, you could get a bunch right here.
Freddie Boyd from Peru. Fred Boyd, not Fred Boyd.
Now, if we had a magnifying glass, but it wouldn't help you people much, but look at the people
But
here.
if these pictures, when they blow, when we can blow these things up a little bit bigger, and you'd be surprised how much. Lester Giles, you remember him?
Right in the middle in the front.
Yeah, right there. That's a Lester. You didn't-
Now, this man is familiar to me.
Favreau from
That's
Point of Rush.
Point of Rush.
Okay.
Here's Junior, his
That's right.
son.
And he used to work for us.
Did he? Well, he got killed in a car accident
Really?
at a young age. Yeah.
Well,
Or is this Harold?
no. That's Harold. That's the
Oh,
one. That's
okay.
The one.
This is Harold.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll notice they're eating their lunch, and you go from a person who's right out of the field working to a man with a tie. You didn't have any dress code. They came there, they just came to have a good time and a good feed.
Fellow come on horseback.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
We-
got to be a salesman.
We go to another picture, we see very close up. The man there, he looks familiar, but I can't place him. One man didn't want his picture taken with the hat, you'll notice. Probably a teacher who skipped school that day.
Could be.
My God, I think it's Harry McManus. Now, this lady looks familiar. That's your sister?
That's my sister
That's
Rita.
your sister Rita in the second row standing.
And I think this is my mother.
Your mother there.
And looks like Grace Fizette, Rita's mother-in-law.
That's your sister died, you said?
No, not this one.
No.
All right, now, don't notice anybody else in there that we can identify very well.
Here's one for you. Joe Gregoire's wife. Mrs. Gregoire, isn't it?
Queenie.
Okay, way to the right is Mrs. Gregoire, and then this is
No,
Hager?
that's Hager. That's,
Hager?
Luther Hager, is it?
From Cumberland Head?
Luke and Tom's father. What was it Ben Hager?
Ben.
No, Ben
It's
was.
Hager, I know it.
It's a Hager.
That looks like Coopel.
That is the Coupal, yes, and the boy
Marcel.
on the left,
Marcel or John.
It could be either one.
yeah, and then the lady in the back, anybody recognize?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, it looks like Lyle Bursey.
All right.
Dolph Bursey's wife.
So these people were going around and taking pictures of trying to get as many as possible. We don't know whether these were all the same year. Obviously, they weren't. They're maybe different years. There's the De La Valve food freezer that was sold. You know, that was De La Valve was the big milking machine company.
There they're all down in the front eating again.
Now this one has a date on the back of it of January 7th, 48. So this might have been taken either in 47 or 48. It says January 7th.
The only one I recognize there is Bill.
Bill up in the back.
That was my dad there, and I think that's Omer LaPlante. Remember Omer
Yeah.
LaPlante?
Yeah, City Chamberlain.
Cindy Chamberlain, new radio announcer.
Yeah, he and Mannix had to run in now and then, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Years back.
Okay, there's
There's Joe Gregoire and his
Gregoire.
wife again.
Yeah.
right in the middle of the picture.
Hager.
Yeah.
Raymond Beeman, his wife. I mean, Raymond Beeman.
Raymond Beeman here on the
Yeah,
right hand
there's,
side.
There's Dolph Bursey. That must be his wife right there.
We're talking to the man in the very back
Yeah.
with the glasses and his wife.
He's quite a guy, eh? Big Dolph Bursey.
Oh,
And
I
did we
got you.
identify this man right here?
That's Hager.
Hager.
That's
Oh, that's Hager again.
Yeah, I think his name was.
I think it's Luther. I don't know.
Well, I know that Luke and Tom were brothers, and their dad. I can't. This is the Curtis people from Peru. There's Lyle Trombley again.
Yeah, Lyles is there again. See, Lyles was there.
Well, there was
He
food
did
there,
visit.
wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was something to eat there.
He'd work late the night before and the next day, but he could take that whole day off.
That's right.
Right? One of the payoffs. You know,
This looks like Romeo Bichard's wife, is it? Or
No.
no?
I don't.
I better not put her.
Better not put her there because that's not Romeo.
That's not Romeo.
We don't recognize anybody here. This man I have seen, but I cannot tell you who he is.
Yeah. You give me a thing.
These are John Deere Day pictures we're looking at.
It's Carlton Westcott from Peru again. That's Leo Vaughn, which is Cliff LaSalle's grandfather. Steve Flanagan.
He's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Oh, who's this guy? I've seen him somewhere.
Don't know him.
A lot of character in those faces. Look at those two faces in the front. Look at the expression, huh?
Beatmantown.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, look at the expression.
Right behind Steve. Beatmantown.
Can't put it on. I think that's Phil Defiant, but I'm not sure.
I thought it was Orville Bonneville.
Well,
I don't know.
Bonneville. It looks like Orville to me.
Could be Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. It's just Liam
No.
Trombley, Clarence Trombley's father, and Maddie.
By God,
His
that's
wife,
right.
Maddie.
Right you are.
I guess you know people know when people watch this and they think, and that guy's listening, and you called him Mickey Rooney, you're in trouble, Carl Castine.
Why?
The voices you hear, of course, here are Gary Finney, Carl Castine, and Lyles Trombley, and Bob Venn with the mic. Hometown Cable, what's going on here? And what's going on is John Deere days of 40 to 45 years ago.
Where's Leon?
Liam Trombley right here.
Way over to the, he's the second man from the right
Yeah.
without the glasses,
Yeah.
between two men with the glasses.
I think that's Phil Defiant.
Wife and where?
Right
there.
next to him
Right next to him, yeah.
with the glasses.
Back of them.
Yeah, just off to the back of him, yep.
Yeah.
This is Future Farmers of America when Paul Calkins was a teacher in Peru. These are all the kids from Peru that they used to get out legally. That school let them out and come down through there. Rodney North. There's Harold Ormsby, the well driller now.
Yeah.
The third one from the left,
Father Allen again.
fifth from the left.
Skip school too then.
Yeah. Sure, father would have been known to do that before.
Yeah.
Jim Derby. Glenn Bradley. Good Lord.
My
course.
God, he was small. Eh? Short, eh?
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, that's Big Dan McCusker. He was about
Yeah.
6'6", standing right next
Yeah.
to us.
You know, when we're
Yeah,
talking back in the 40s when I lived in Plattsburgh, and the big thrill for the week was to go to the Champlain Theater for the westerns and the serials. It's just like Hometown Cable has on the weekend. We used to go there for that serial, and we'd sometimes go in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and leave about 9 at night. We'd watch it 4 times, and we'd spend 10 cents for some chocolate-covered peanuts and have enough for 2 movies.
Yeah.
And that was the same theater.
I don't know Oh, that's at the John Deere days again. That's Art rented that.
Yeah, who was your clown?
Clarence Allen. Used to get in the cop
He
uniform.
was quite the.
Yeah.
He was an usher.
Yeah, that's right.
You'd see a good-looking couple come in, and
Yeah.
he'd usher the lady down to the seat, and he'd dust off a seat for her, and he'd sit right next to her. A lot of the men didn't like that.
Now there's the Wranglers,
Yeah.
presented by W.W.
That's
Finney
the
and
fair
Son.
again.
That was at the fair. All right. There's you see Bill back there? You can see him behind there playing, writing with the group.
Oh yeah, he always had to sing a song. There he is again with his what he loved the best, kids. Always had a pocket full of candy and drive into the yard, and the kids would come running out of the house 100 miles an hour, and they never were disappointed.
Who's that guy look like to you?
Looks familiar, but I can't.
Albert Duquette?
Don't know. Don't ring a bell with me.
Don't
No.
look like you?
No, don't ring a bell.
I don't know.
That one there looks like it's going to be hard.
This gives an overall
boy,
picture of
I
the
guess
theater, and it's hard to pick anybody out. This picture's a little blurred,
This one too.
but I'm sure there's a lot of them in there.
Somebody must have moved. Huh?
That's Oliver, I know.
Yeah, Oliver Laundry.
Who else can you see? But hard to see.
Don't recognize too many. With a glass, you could pick them out, but they're hard.
Shows the crowd though. Just
Yes, it kind of shows the crowd, and you can see the projection where they projected from the 4 holes up in the middle, up and above. That's where the projection came out, and it was a noisy place on a Saturday afternoon. I knew.
Father Allen again. There's George King Jr. You remember him up on the military
Yep.
turnpike?
I've seen that guy before.
And there's Alec again.
Alec Bayshard here on the right with the glasses, that looking over somebody else, and don't recognize anybody else. I don't, anyway.
This is Willie.
These older people will.
Willie Cook and his wife from down around the Salmon River.
Right in the middle, we're talking about. He's looking right at the camera, both of them.
Yeah. Willie Cook and his wife.
And was this familiar to you?
If you put a name
No.
on
Looks like Don Green a little bit. Old Don
no,
Green.
it looks to me
No.
like
Walter Brennan.
That's what I say. It looked like Walter Brennan to me. Yep. I guess we can't identify anybody.
anybody know
else in
anybody there?
Not I.
Not I.
No. No, don't recognize anybody at all.
There's Clarence Allen right there, the guy that was a clown. He's at the fair.
Sitting down?
Give you some idea. Yeah, no, standing up.
Standing up, okay.
There he is.
All right, this
Give you
is...
some- my dad used to, when he would go to the fair, he'd have a tent that would go.
I was going to say, you didn't just have a little corner. Look at
No.
look at this space here, and then we go to the next picture, and you can see, look at the items that they had displayed.
Yeah.
And it went all the way down to the end of that tent. That's got to be 60, 70, 100 feet down there.
My dad again. Orville Wilder. He was a De La Val man. Ray Finney again. That's Bill Wellensberry again.
We're going from right to left on those as he was reading them.
Who's the other salesman?
Feed
Feed or fertilizer or
He looks familiar, but I can't place him.
Can't put it on. Can't.
must have been another chainsaw salesman. There's chainsaw.
Yeah. All right, so what happened at these companies had their representatives at these John Deere
Oh my
days,
Lord!
right?
They'd come in. Won't else everybody be busy? Them,
Right.
they'd come in. I tell you, it was.
And there was no real sales presentation that day whatsoever, right? It was a fun day.
It was a fun day. They always had a nice colored movie of the
Oh, yeah.
John Deere people. Always had a,
Introductory.
yeah.
Yeah.
Their new stuff.
There's Freddie Boyd and his father.
Where are they?
Freddie Boyd, that's
Okay.
his dad.
That's the two on the right,
Yeah, they're
second
from
row.
the Peasville area.
Okay, nobody there.
They came from all over. I'll tell you. They
Don't know what happened. Empty seats here on the right and the front. They must have gone to the
Probably
bathroom.
eaten. Probably eaten.
They ate and went. It must be where Lyle was sitting. He ate and went home.
Gone to eat.
There's my brother Bill. You notice he's not the same size he was in that picture up there. That's Merrill Reese right there.
That is
Okay.
memories, yeah.
And Bill with the black shirt and white tie.
Gerard Tater and his wife and Arnold. Scales and his wife in front right there.
Okay, the front row down below, looking up at the people who were there.
Oh God, I can't. That's George King Jr. again. And who's that fella? I can't.
I don't know. I've seen that guy a lot of times.
Oh my
You?
good. Defiant. He's a Defiant.
I've seen that
The
guy.
5 would be on the right, and scales. You say who's on the left?
George King Jr.
George King Jr.
And there again are the Boyds, Gordon and his wife.
These are all indicating a 1948 date on the back, folks.
Remember that guy, Norm Foote?
Yeah.
John Tatro, front.
Which one's Foot?
With the
Right
glasses.
there.
with the glasses in the middle.
The curly hair.
All right.
That's John Tatro again here.
Down below.
Who's this guy? I've seen that fellow.
Francis Norton, is it from Point of Rush? Is that Francis Norton?
Second from the right in
don't
the
know.
back row, and Lyle thinks might be Francis Norton. If you people know these people, it's okay for you to identify them to yourselves. Another picture, people lost in the background. Is that Hector?
Yep.
That's Hector Bayshard with his hand on his chin here on the one of the 3 main in the front, just to the right.
About all I know.
Got a vest on or a sweater underneath his jacket. That's about all we know in that picture.
I'm sure he's probably singing or dancing or doing something there.
Yeah, all right.
Is your mother still living?
Yes.
She is, eh?
Yeah. No, plays golf. There's a Kurt from Saranac, Burnt Hill. That's there was Ross. and Carl. That's
Kirk?
Carl right
Carl
there.
Kirk? He died, eh? He's dead now?
The person in the
Yes.
middle in the front. Otherwise, we don't see anybody we know in the picture.
Don't know if there's anybody here you recognize or not. I don't.
Nope, this picture we have nobody. We'll leave it up in case you recognize somebody.
We don't know about that either.
Pretty hard with the back all there.
Yes.
Some people are going to recognize themselves here.
Well, it's possible if they think back, and then of course Bill will up on and some of the representatives up on the stage.
Now, you remember when we had the John Deere, we went back to the fair again. Well, we had one great big section at the fair with John Deere. We also had with Ford. We were the Ford dealer in Peru, and that Charlie Cook, who run the Ford dealership for us down there, and then he bought the Ford dealership from our family, and that became Proof Farm Center. He
Uh-huh.
See, look at that reaping binder, a new one.
Yep. Of course, these were the way tractors looked in those days, folks. You didn't have these all this horsepower and these $50,000 and $100,000 tractors. Lyles, well, we talked in a minute here. If you didn't have John Deere all your life, you sure got them now up there with your son and
Well, you sure got 'em now.
and daughter-in-law with all these, huh?
We sure got him now.
They sure have them.
That's the cop again. That's Slim Gout over there. Remember old Slim?
Playing the guitar.
Yeah.
No.
Now you can see some idea of how big that tent was at the fair and how much that was all WW Finney.
That was the whole tent?
And there you go. The John Deere's went halfway
Yeah.
down the line, and the Ford tractors went the rest. And then
Gary, do you remember when the MT came out? Your father had one running out here.
Yeah.
You had the wheel tied so it would make a close circle.
And it keep running?
It running.
Keep going around.
Yeah, round and round, the same track.
Nobody on it?
Nobody on it.
Nobody on it. I don't remember that at all. Anybody there?
Again, to give you an idea of the mass of people that were, and they're all raising their
They're all
hand.
raising their
Rodney
hand.
Good. Probably asked if they were having a good time.
Probably, yeah.
Rodney Good.
Did you say that's Leslie Trombley?
I'd say Leslie Trombley, yeah.
In the middle, the person, the man in the middle,
And his wife.
his wife, and
I think his daughter.
you think that could be his daughter
This might have
too?
been her boyfriend if she had one.
Who identify, Gary?
What's that? Rodney Good from Peru.
Rodney Good with the
Checkered shirt.
on the
okay.
left.
That's Mac McNamara.
This was
You remember him, Lyles?
What did he sell?
He was a John Deere.
John Deere
Blackman. He was the guy
Blackman?
he represented.
we're looking
John
at the
Deere.
next picture now, and this one here is what was his name again?
McNamara.
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 Mac McNamara.
All right.
And it's just another group that he had. Oh my
Date
goodness
now?
gracious! You're
48.
Pass it on.
Okay.
Roland Guernsey. My father, Roland Guernsey, old fiddler, had it down under.
All right. Here again, we're talking the fiddler, and you see, and then look at the smiles on the faces. Didn't have TV in those days, folks, and if you did, not very much.
Leo Corn.
Leo who?
Coral.
Leo Corn.
Beamantown.
Don't know.
Leo Carr on the right,
I
no.
think that's him.
We think it's Leo Carr on the right. In the middle, you don't know. In the left, you don't know. But you see, it wasn't a summer day. You see the coats they got in their hand, and they were all dressed. You know.
You see, when he went to the fair, I can't believe that. I mean, look at there, all the trucks in the time. Those are all the trucks. He was GMC trucks.
Oh, you had a lot of stuff there. Your father had a lot of items to sell. Big operation.
Yeah.
Yes. It took a lot of hours to put that out there and pick it up again.
Nobody there.
Nope, not to me.
Nope, nobody in this picture do we recognize whatsoever. If anybody out there may recognize somebody, but we don't think it's anybody up north.
That's my Uncle Frank right there, and my father's just on the other side of it. You can see him sticking out.
Okay. You wouldn't say that if he was here. So this has to be probably some of the same days people were sitting in roughly the same place as they were at the time. And they came and they stayed all day pretty well, didn't they?
Yeah. They stayed all day. There's Johnny again,
Yeah.
the Minor Farm.
Johnny Molesky.
Archie Berto.
Johnny Molesky on the left.
Now, he was a Russian, eh?
Yeah.
All right, and
Archie Berto in the middle.
Archie in the
I
middle.
don't know who that is.
And the people at the fair could be from anywhere. You wouldn't necessarily recognize anybody unless they just happened to be there. And the band playing again, I guess. And this is there's their
Banjo.
the big bass
Well, it
fiddle.
looks like a banjo, but it isn't.
No, that's the speaker.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's at the fair. I don't really.
The first 2-3 rows you recognize everybody, but the only ones you'd notice don't recognize anybody. Don't know where that was held either because
That's
it's
Landry again right there, isn't it?
Right.
where are we talking about now?
Right here.
Lower right, the first man you can see is Landry.
Albert, yeah.
You kind of get lost in this picture. It's an overall shot of all the people that came.
Recognize anybody there? Who's that right there?
Search me, boy.
Huh?
I don't know.
All right, well, this person looks familiar here. I don't know who it is, the one on the right, this gentleman, but
That'd be a Chauvin.
I don't know. And the man in the front, the very front row here, smiling, he looks familiar, but I don't recognize who he is.
From Beatmantown. They lived on the corner in the brick house.
No.
Coral.
Caro?
Yeah, I wasn't from.
All right.
I don't have any idea.
I forget his first name now.
Again, you got a overall picture of the theater. Hard to pick out anybody, but look at the people in the back. And you see, no, it's mealtime. They're all coming in probably. See, look at this. I mean, that had to cost your dad.
They're all
Yeah,
eating.
that had to cost your dad a pretty penny
Uh-huh.
for a day like that,
I
right?
have no idea, but I'm sure it was enough.
Do you know whether John Deere helped to pay for any of this or not?
Nah, he was always promoting
Yeah.
doing things.
And you know how many years he did this? Any idea?
Well, I never known him to do anything but, you know.
Okay. We'll take a short break. We're at Finney Sporting Goods. We're talking with Gary, Finney, Carl Castine, Lyle Trombley. This program is What's Going On Here, and we're talking and looking at pictures from John Deere days of past.
You know this picture.
Did you forget it? See?
Your father had to.
Wait, here we go. We start off with this picture. What is this going on, Gary?
This is at the John Deere Day again, and he always used to bring people up, and they'd have that game, and they'd pass that orange from chin to chin, and that's my Aunt Helen, and that's Joel Shire, who used to own...
On the liquor store?
No, his brother owned the...
Oh, Ivan.
but Joel owned the radio station, WRY.
All right.
He, at the time, was with WAV.
All right,
and
now, you had comments, Carl. What were you going to tell us?
Aaron Shire was a liquor store.
I remember Bill, Gary's father here, calling a lady out of the crowd, you know. Brought her up on stage, and this magician was there and fooling around her neck. He took and he pulled out a bunch of handkerchiefs in her bra. Both of them. How he ever got it in there, I don't know. I thought she'd die laughing. Yeah, you remember that, Gary?
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
You-
And look at
Yeah.
these little tractors in the front now. If you had those tractors today in that condition,
They'd be worth
they'd
quite
be
a
worth
bit.
some money, wouldn't they? Huh?
They would be.
You know, I was talking with Tony, and he told me that he picked up a little tractor, I think, to match his 1972 on his trip.
Right.
And he said they cost anywhere from $150 to $400.
These things here?
Yeah.
One that fit his 1972. This is in the 50s, 40s.
Yeah,
Imagine what those
and you
would be.
know what? He says, this one you didn't buy for me, Dad. He said, it was $8 then. He said, I
Yeah,
paid $140 for it.
that's something else, huh? That's something else.
You know, the other thing, getting away from talking a little bit, Little League Baseball, you know, it's all over the country right now.
Yep.
Nobody in northern New York, Little League Baseball started with that man right there.
Right there.
With Bill.
He went out and bought a bunch of uniforms and got a bunch of us kids and started that. And he used to go out to Crown Point and find somebody down there who could get a bunch of kids together. Charlie Nephew in Plattsburgh, and that's where. And from that's where Little League Baseball come from in the North Country today.
Yeah.
I'll never
You
forget that.
tell us any of those that are in there, maybe just the names we might recognize it, as anybody.
Are you in there?
Well, I'm
Jimmy?
right there.
Okay,
Tommy Giroux.
about the fifth one from the left in the back row.
Chuck Kinney, the kid used to play for Peru that scored 98.
Oh yes,
Right
fourth
there.
from the left on the top row.
Yeah, Billy Higgins, he lives in Peru now.
Second from the right on the front.
Warren LaSalle, that's Cliff LaSalle's brother.
Brother, way over on the bottom left. Yep, they played, and this would be about what year then?
Oh my, well listen, I think I was in the second grade.
That's a long time ago.
So I would have been, well, no, I think I was in the third or fourth. I was 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah, you had to be. Yeah, you were a little. All right, now that's Smiling Bill. You remember?
Gary was 10 years old in the second grade, but he's telling you.
You like that grade?
I never graduated until I was 30.
Oh, now these sure look familiar here, but I don't recognize anybody by name. No,
God, that looks like Grim Vidor's.
it is. It is. That's
Gerald?
no, that's Is that Marcel? Yes, I think
Or Clement.
I think it is Clement. I think it's Clement.
That ain't
You're,
Clement. That ain't
you don't think so?
You don't think so?
No,
Well, it's one of Raymond Bidor's sons from
it looks it.
from Champlain. That's Claire's brother. Anyway, Claire, wherever that is, that's your brother right there.
Who?
Claire Clark's brother.
Right.
Yeah, that's your brother. We don't know which one it is. And Bobby, it's your uncle. All right. Well, we found one person.
Look, anyway.
There's the Champlain Theater. It's either just starting or just getting over with. I don't know which.
Look like they want to go in.
Yeah, they're probably waiting to get in.
Machinery also used to be lined up and down the
Both
side
streets.
street.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember that part. Now, this picture is you're standing right here on Clinton Street, facing up toward Oak, and it's on the corner to your right, the far corner to your right. Oak Street's up about Clinton Diners was on the just beyond this
That's right.
on the Clinton Street side, and that was torn down. They had mostly with B movies, you know, they weren't the first runs, and a lot of Western but well patronized.
But it was 35 cents.
It was
wasn't
35 or less.
Or less.
When I used to go.
That's Charlie and Zilpha Mora from Peru. Looks like she was enjoying her food.
It's on the right. All
It
right.
looks like she had some color too. So.
Who said that, Carl?
I did.
That was Gary Finney that said that, right? All right.
I couldn't. That's the Elks Club Quartet from Plattsburgh. Used to come down there and
And
sing.
perform, right?
Al Sharon, Floyd Beebe, Frank Provost. I don't know who that fellow was.
All right, there's the quartet. Double-breasted suits.
I don't know who that is. Do you?
Raymond Beeman's wife in front. That's all I know.
That it? Okay.
Looked like they were performing there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I think that might have been my Aunt Helen
She-
there. She used to raise elbow around there.
I think she sent Raymond away so he wouldn't be a part of it. See, his seat is empty. See, they were our neighbors on Stetson
There's
Road.
my father and my Uncle Frank again.
Their daughter was my sister's best friend. All right, there's your dad and his brother. Was he in the business with your dad?
Yeah, he wasn't as, he was,
Okay.
he was,
He wasn't as active.
oh, no, he was,
This is facing, of course. This is what we used to look forward to when we were in the theater was the guy walking down this aisle and going into this opening, because when he did, he was going to roll the curtain up or open them. When they opened up, that mean the movie was going to start. We used to get there at 1:30 for the 2 o'clock, and everybody would clap when they see him come down.
anybody there?
Not really.
Just Bill. I mean,
Roy Abboud.
Roy.
Roy Abboud standing up, yeah,
There's that king again.
Yeah, Junior, yeah.
on the right. No, don't recognize
No.
anybody else.
Anybody there?
No, not for me.
I recognize the girl behind the purse.
Now this guy looks familiar back here. I can't believe somebody don't know who this is. He does look familiar.
That's my dad again. That's Glenn Lee. Remember from the farmers FFA?
Yeah.
And what was that guy's name? Jeepers.
Look at those fancy coats and look at those overshoes they had on. They were,
You-
you didn't wear.
I think that was February.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had to be.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Here we'll just get this. This is their talking. WEAV is there, and there's Bill Finney again. A lot of pictures being taken. Bill said, "Take pictures." You used to display these pictures down at the
Oh, yeah.
business later on, right?
Yeah. Remember Otto Bowles?
Nope.
The
Yeah.
Chevrolet dealer?
Yeah.
Right there used to be right over where
That's him.
the county buildings are now.
Yeah. Was this Otto? Otto was the son.
Otto was the son.
That's
Yeah.
old JC or what?
L.C. Bowles.
LC. All right.
LC Bowles.
Otto used to be right here on Margaret Street, right? Where Toyota took over later, or Nissan.
Yeah, he was at the automobile place for a while.
Okay. He sold cars for other. All right. Let's look at here. This is just another.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, it's a salesman, and there's your little units down below here, though, worth money today. The little tiny tractor. When you bought a tractor, did they give you one of the little ones usually, or did you have to buy it?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
But they were cheap enough you could afford to buy them.
Okay, now this you could afford.
You
Okay,
could.
yeah. Well, of course, money was worth it. Now there's the group up there again. There's Cliff LaSalle again, third from the left. He and I are nearly twins. Went into service together, and then here's Gary and his mom over here on the right, and then Bill.
Bill.
And that's Bill's wife? Is
No,
that
that's June.
June?
Bill, wife's not there.
Not there, all right.
It's probably all
Powell.
working.
June Powell.
Here's
Just a minute, wait, we've got to get rid of these at least here. Here's Gary, when we were talking to over here on the left, right in it, and then
my dad.
your dad there.
I can't.
All right, some more pictures.
Had to be some kind of.
Some of the boxes that were taken. See, the theater was made out of big cement blocks or tiles.
You had that picture before.
There's Clarence.
Okay.
There's Clarence Facette, isn't it?
This is the quartet. We've
Yeah.
got two here.
My sister Rita. Big quiet again.
Wait, we're losing track here, fellas. Wait a minute. Where are we going here? This picture here, we should talk about.
Who is that?
That's your dad and your
Oh,
mom.
my
Oh,
goodness
come on,
gracious.
come on.
That's my father. And
Yes.
That's my mother.
Yes.
And that's my brother's wife, Day. And that's my Aunt Helen. And
All right.
this lady right here was Den Gallagher's wife. What was Den's wife? Oh, my Lord.
All right, we're going to go now from left to right. Do it one more time. The lady on the left.
That's my Aunt Helen, my father's sister.
All right.
And this is Den Gallagher's wife, Denny
All right.
Gallagher's wife. And that's my brother's wife, Day. That's my mother with a nice hairdo.
And a
She'll kill
smile.
me. And that's my father.
And your dad there,
A long
right?
time ago, those pictures were taken.
Great picture. Great picture. And the JD course is for John Deere. And here's the quartet again that we saw. Just another scene of them. And now we'll get to this other picture. And you were talking.
There's Clarence John Lee, and that's
Clarence-
Lyle's sister, isn't it?
Clarence Pizzette and my sister
mean,
Rita.
Okay,
Yeah.
the second row with the right is your sister Rita, then Clarence Facette. And then,
That's
Big
Big
Defiant.
Defiant.
all right.
That's Bobby Gallagher.
In the front, on the left on the front.
Yeah, Bobby's gone now. He's Cora Cook.
Remember, as fast as we are talking, is only how long it's going to be on the screen. So
Is that right?
don't hurry, these, because. Well, they're passing the oranges again, I
Yeah.
guess. And this lady on the end thinks it's very funny.
Yeah.
She hasn't got one yet. see?
That's my Aunt Helen.
That's your aunt.
She was just like my father. Exactly. She was just as jovial and.
This guy right here is having a good time. In
he
addition
don't
to,
wanna go.
yeah, you know, he's got his arms around us. It won't go away.
Getting mileage out of it.
Now this here is my mother.
Okay, starting from the right this time.
That's my mother.
Your mother.
And that's my father's sister, my Aunt Ruth Clark, who just died here a month and a half ago. She was 96 years old. This is Bunny Cook, Charlie's wife, who Charlie since passed away, and Bunny was a very good friend of the family, of our family. And that's my Aunt Helen. And this is Barbara Thu, my Aunt Ruth's daughter, who worked for us. And they were in the insurance business in Peru, and she since has passed away. In fact, the only two people left there, my mother and Bunny. But that was kind of the.
If you haven't taken your pictures out at home recently, and gone over them with your family, you ought to do it. Really, it's an awful lot of fun. I'm sure that all of us are having a great time here today, right, Lyle?
That's right.
Lyle hasn't seen these before. Carl saw them at home, and I've seen these, but Lyle hasn't seen these until he walked in today.
Remember Harold Donovan used to work for us?
Yeah.
That's his brother. Remember him?
Alton.
Elton Donovan, right
Elton
down the road
Donovan.
here.
And look at those shoes.
Did you have a backhoe?
Yeah, he had backhoes. Milton Barnes started
Built the,
backhoe.
built the motel right down here, remember?
Right.
Got those knickers, too. Look at that. Look at those pants.
Yeah.
That's at the fair again.
The band, and then now we're looking over here. We see Bill, and then this is Cliff LaSalle, and then young Bill.
Young Bill.
Bill Ellsbury in the back.
Ellsbury in the back, and the kids in the front today are probably close to 50 years old.
Yeah.
We don't recognize them there at all.
Look at the radio.
Yeah, there, look at the old radio, yes, right in the front. And then the more you look at these pictures, the more you will find, you know.
I got no radio just like that.
You do have.
In the workshop, yeah.
The
Who's
more
that
you
right
wish
there?
you had them
Can't tell
dated.
you.
And kept them, huh?
No.
We don't know either.
No, we don't know who this is, but we see Bill Finney on the right.
Oh my goodness gracious, we got a picture coming up. You got to see this one.
Well, all right, here, first of all, we got some more of the band playing at the time. If you were there, you probably remember them.
Martin Mannix again.
All right. Of course, on the right with the glasses, Martin Mannix, probably giving his noon broadcast from there, right? And look at that little oak table. That's probably in someone's antique store today.
And I don't know who that is. Had to be a salesman.
Well, there's a chainsaw. He must have been a chainsaw salesman.
Yeah,
Look at the pants.
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at the size of that saw.
Yeah, right.
I know. Such a big blade.
look at the size of the motor, the thing with it. God, that was heavy. Had to really... All right,
This picture here. Well, that's my dad.
on the left.
I should know who that is, and I don't.
Sure you do.
Who is that?
Leo Sears.
Leo Sears in the middle. All right.
That's Harold Manley. Used to own the dairy in Dannemora.
That's in the back. We can hardly see,
Don't
yes?
know who that is.
Don't know the next one.
This man right here.
Second from the right.
That's Ronnie Stafford's father.
Oh,
Halsey
he
Stafford.
looks like Stafford.
That's Halsey Stafford. He was the at the prison barns. He was the superintendent of the prison barns up there, the prison farm. And that's
Do you
right.
live in Norway?
No,
Can't
no,
be.
no. This guy I should know, and I don't. The minute I hear his name, I would know it.
So remember,
Let me see that picture.
if you get your picture taken today in 1992, you don't know what's going to happen to it 40 years from today, so you better be smiling.
God, that looks like a Daniels, but I can't.
It
tell.
is. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Daniel.
Yep, yep.
This is why we have all these people with us.
That's
see?
who that is. That's who that is. That's all I had to hear. Bert Larmy.
Bert Larmy again.
All right, right in the second man back is Bert Larmy, and he's all smiles. And
You know, I never knew him. I knew where he lived.
Oh,
On
yeah.
Rider Road.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
man behind him looks familiar too, but I can't place a name with it.
There's Gary jumping.
Oh,
Is
jumping
this
horse.
Gary jumping when you had your horses, Gary? If you watched our show on
He's a
the
kid
the
doing
Finneys, all right. Didn't quite make the Olympics, but you still made that bar. He used to keep them up because he nailed them up so they couldn't fall off.
You're a seller.
That's my basement.
Homebrew.
All right, just
Milk jugs.
The milk jugs.
Thinking
Distillery.
last night.
Yeah.
Here's I guess at the county fair again. Look at that big balloon tired bicycle right in the front. Today, very desirable, and people looking for those. There's that same radio again too,
Yeah.
Lyles.
Yeah.
There's Cliff LaSalle way over here on the right. We know Cliff quite well.
There's my brother and my dad, and they're at the fair, and that little Stanley Woodard, remember from the Line Mountain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was short.
Yeah, you could
A
stand.
little
You
person.
could stand right on his hands and
Acrobat,
drink a shot right upside down.
On the alley.
Oh,
Right.
Lord, it was.
He got a lot of shots that way too, you know. That'd be a great thing to learn. See.
Yeah.
I have no idea. This had to be a dinner thing somewhere. Martin Mannix and my father, Jimmy Fitzpatrick.
All right, third from the right back, Jimmy Fitzpatrick, so well known. And let's not forget the Fitzpatrick family, who has made that recent donation, or at least a contribution, to the Clinton County Historical Society, and that building on the corner of Court Street and Oak Street now going to be their new facility. It came from the Fitzpatricks. Is that Mrs. Fitzpatrick next to him? Must be.
I would think so.
Right there, I believe. I don't know her.
I have no idea who that is. Should know, but I don't. Martin Mannix and my dad. I think that's what. I don't know.
And your mom. Let's not forget your mom right here.
That's Trudy Mannix.
That's Trudy. That's right.
Okay.
Martin's wife.
Looks like the boys. Do the boys look like her? Where are they eating here? Can you tell?
Royal Savage.
Royal Savage. All right.
There's some more of the thing. Yeah,
Okay, hard to identify. We're looking from behind down on this toward the stage area. Part of Plattsburgh's past, John Deere days and Champlain Theater.
There's the. My father used to have a saying there. He said he'd stand behind anything he ever sold.
Yeah, you look at the size of that North spreader.
Yeah.
That was a 75 bushel.
Look how high it is.
You wouldn't even bother with that little thing today.
No, you couldn't. Not with the number of cattle they
Of
have
course,
today.
back then, you had 20, 25 horsepower on it. Now you have 100 horsepower, or you don't go.
Yeah. You see, this is probably a February or something. See, you see snow in the street up front here.
Oh yeah.
There's snow, and there's snow a little bit. So we know this is in February, and the
or-
people are all dressed.
I'm
Or
not sure
early March.
that came out. Say that again, Gary.
I said that my father used to say that he would stand behind anything that he ever sold, everything except the manure spread. I've heard that a million times.
All right. Anybody in here?
Yeah, right here is Amos Sorrell from over in Morrisonville.
Nice. Second from the right.
That's old Martin Brown, the old fellow used to be the custodian down there. I remember
In-
one time
in-
he
in
called
the
my
back
father
row
in the
here?
middle of the night. He used to be our night watchman. He wasn't any bigger than a pint of cider. I can remember one night he called my father. Remember the white elephant used to be right, the white owl used to be right next to us there, where Mickey's
Yeah,
is now.
yeah.
Here's our dugout. And remember he called me. He said, "Bill," he said, they just robbed the place next door. My father says, "Go into the feed store, crawl up on the highest pile you can, and just lay there and go to sleep." He said, we'll get you out in the morning.
Isn't that Raymond Beeman right in the front? No. That isn't? No. Okay.
This is the fair again in the band.
All right. We'll look at the two, the band.
Lytle family.
Lytle family is right, and then here they are again, and at the fair, and there's people here. The younger people are
There they
gathered
are again.
around.
Of course, Anne Marie, one of the Lytle daughters, when Mike Brown comes back, Anne Marie married Bill Denton
Bill
Jr.,
Denton,
and
that's right.
they owned the North Countryman and stuff for many years.
Oh, do you know which one she is here?
Right here. Oh no, that's right here.
Right here, the one sitting down.
That's her sister Betty G.
So they're the owner of the North Countryman, right down here on the right.
They
That's
did,
your mother.
They did. Okay.
And old Hank, of course, passed away.
Well, he did.
Yep.
I know this group here. I only know two guys. I think that was Slim Gout. I think that was Curly LaFave used to play the fiddle. I don't know who the other guys are.
You know, over the years, we've had several of the bands in the area very, very well known. One with the Lytle family, of course, Smiley Willette from up north. There was a couple other families down here that the Thews, did they have their own band? No, there was another one. DeLong, I guess maybe I thought there somebody else would know a couple others. What band is this? You know,
I have no idea.
don't know who this is. All right.
This is just something that nobody would know anybody there. That's out in Waterloo. That
Okay. Welcome to John Deere Tractor Works. It's probably in Waterloo.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Tony would, right?
Tony
Your
might.
son would,
Yeah,
because he's
probably.
been out there. Yes, there.
You tell 'em.
Well, this guy looks familiar
Yeah.
right here. That's Ingraham, Beatmantown, ain't he?
Yeah, you put a name on it and I'll tell you exactly.
Dan Noonan?
No.
No. Rufus Deal, is this? No?
Yes, that's Rufus
In
Deal.
the back over here, yes.
Yes, that's Rufus
Didn't
Deal.
this guy used to take as a Riel?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's it.
Riel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, person on the left here, the first person is with his hand on his chin. Carl says is a Riel.
That's who it is. You know there? No?
Jingles.
Everybody's eating.
Must be related to Lyle's.
Yeah, he's eating.
Yeah.
And enjoying it.
Yes, you see the chocolate milk in the milk bottle.
Oh,
see?
yeah. Right in the bottom.
In the bottle.
Everybody's eating except this poor girl.
Yeah.
1, 2. Look at this little fellow.
Yeah. See, they got a straw in it. Some people don't like a straw.
The other one of them little teeny ones, N or M or...
Right. Do you know who this was?
That's McNamara. That's Mac with John
McNamara,
Deere.
he's
From John Deere.
talking to the people there at the...
John Deere.
So this went on for several years, right?
Well, I never remember. I remember it started way back when I was, and they had it at the Grange Hall in Peru, and then moved to Plattsburgh, of course, and it was...
Yeah. All right, we're down to the
Last picture.
last picture, and what is more fitting than the picture of the man himself, W. Finney the second,
Well,
right?
The third, really.
The third he was, all right?
Third. My great-grandfather was W. Finney. My grandfather was W. Finney. My father was W. Finney. My brother's W. Finney, and my brother's boy in Marymount, or in Arlington, Virginia is W.
Is that right?
That's-
Because there's 6 of them.
Yeah. And what year did you lose your dad, Gary? Remember?
I was 13 years old.
You're going to give your age now.
Well, I'm 54, so
All right.
figure it out.
That's 41 years ago, so you're talking 1951.
And I still
Not too
can
long
remember,
after this.
I can still remember things like it was yesterday with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot I think it's helped because a lot of people that knew him would always tell me things about
Always
him.
talk about it.
So your children, of course, never knew your dad. Never got a chance to know your
My wife
dad.
never, nobody.
And did Bill's children ever get to know your dad?
No.
Their grandfather, not at all.
Bobby was just a baby when he died, and Billy was couldn't nothing.
Mhm.
You know.
And just this one more time, reinforce what's happened to the Finneys. You have how many children?
I have three boys. Gary's the oldest, and he's in Missouri. He's working for the Sprint telephone people. And Tommy's an air traffic controller in Memphis, Tennessee. And Andy's a correction officer in Ogdensburg. We have 3 grandchildren: Andrew, Trevor, and
Another one.
Go ahead. This is
little
great.
girl. The only girl in our side of the family, Rachel.
Rachel.
You better remember.
All right,
that.
and Bill has 2 daughters,
Bill has 2 boys,
2 boys. I'm sorry, 2 boys, and they have
Billy and Bobby.
Billy and Bobby, both basketball.
Bobby's in the youngest, and he's in Florida, and he has a daughter, Jennifer. He married the Tatro girl from Peru, and Billy is the oldest, and he's in Marymount, or Arlington, Virginia, and he has 2 twin daughters, of which one of them has played for Georgia Tech this year. So that's,
And it all started right there. And, of course, this man had a much better memory than his youngest son does. But still, hey, listen, I'll bet that he could have taken all these people we just saw today and probably call them by name,
Yeah,
right?
sure he could have.
And that's a great thing to be able to do, and we can. And this is Carl Castan again as we close out. If you tuned in late, of course, Calvin's dad and Sam's dad and Gary's dad and another one too, right?
Right.
Another one couldn't have any girls in his family. See, all boys, see? All right? And, of course, this gentleman here on my left, and we saw his picture, and likes to eat, they said, is Lyle Trombley, the dad of...
He works it off.
look
I
at
don't
that.
understand how come he looks so slim and
Yeah, look at this.
Figure it out.
We used to be pretty near the same. We could
Yeah,
wore each other's clothes back in the 50s, the early 50s.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So this is first Tony's dad, and Tony's running the farm right now. And your wife was the
nurse, yeah,
nurse for Dr. Clark
registered
for
nurse.
many years. She's retired now,
Right.
right? And what do you do in the winter, Lyle? Do you stay up here?
No, we head south.
You head south
We
too?
get in our little motorhome, we head south.
Anything else you want to add to this very interesting, I think, discussion? People are going to, so many people you know in northern New York, you know. And
Well, I didn't know as many people back then as what I'd like to have known.
No, you were on the farm quite a bit, except for John Deere Day.
Right, but I had my nose pretty close to the wheel, and I didn't look up from it very often.
Right. Of course, when Tony was showing us your tractors, you mentioned that this was Dad's tractor, something that you had bought way back, and probably from his dad?
Definitely. And I've got the first one I ever bought,
Yeah.
and that was a 900th John Deere that Bill Finney had sold.
900.
And I was up on the stage with the man who had bought the first one that he had sold, and I don't remember the man's name, and I don't remember the tractor.
Is that right?
Do you, by any chance, happen to have any more of the decals with W. Finney? Little decals?
I think we might have, and I know we have a thermometer.
Yeah, but if you had some little, the little small decals, it would be nice if this man couldn't get one to put on his first tractor he ever bought from your dad. Just have it on it now. If you could come up with, if you had a bunch of them or something.
I'll find out.
Yeah, maybe. Well, now, see here. You wouldn't have to pay too much for that, maybe.
Probably not.
You've been pretty good for him today, right?
They must still sell them. Decals.
Of course, let's not forget that as this man was kind and good to the people, so is this man right here. He's a coach at Ausable. He also coached at Shazy. I never could understand how one guy could teach in two different schools in the same year coaching, but he did. And he also donates a lot of his time. He's an auctioneer, and he's donated a lot of time to a lot of benefits with auctioneers, and he's learned that from his mom and dad. And we're glad that your mom is still living with us. And we didn't see your wife. She's out here running around.
Hiding.
She's hiding. And another part of the member of the family is right here. We should introduce this other member of the family right here.
Pansy.
Don't.
Come here. Come here. That's the boss right there.
All right. So now you woke me up. I'm not coming back. Anything else, Gary, you want to say before we close here?
No,
It's
just been a good time. Just enjoyed having everybody here today. And listen, anybody who would like to come in and see these pictures, just stop by. And if they would like some copies, I can get them made for them. And
Okay.
love to have them.
Okay. And anything else, Carl,
No.
as we go along the way? No? You were glad to be on with your son with the camera here, right?
You're darn right.
Remember the first day we looked at these in his kitchen, and you were saying, "Oh gosh, look, that's so and so, right?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought the man's name was a bum barber. You said, "No, that's Raymond Beeman." Remember that? Yeah. We had an interesting day, and it's a pleasure being down here. We hope you enjoyed again seeing John Deere Days. We've been working on this to try to do something for nearly a year, but we.
A lot of good years they saw there.
Yes,
today.
they did.
A lot of good friendships and a lot of people. It's
And please do stop in and see these. Many of you people will recognize people that we don't know, that we didn't recognize, and you will recognize, maybe yourself. And thanks very much for tuning into Hometown Cable every day at those hours, 1:15, 4:30, 8 p.m., midnight, and again at 8 the following morning. And on Sunday, particularly, I invite you to tune in and watch Bob Venn with his very pleasurable guests that we try to see from time to time. This is our third show we recorded this week. So it does take our time, but we hope you enjoy it. And
Give Gary another plug.
give Gary another plug here. Yes, Gary's a very hard worker. His wife told me that. Thanks very much for watching Hometown Cable.
Of course you are.